Mother charged with killing her two young sons claims it was an accident. In Kentucky's legal history, the Tiffany Lucas case will forever remain a deep wound, a heartbreaking tragedy that stunned the entire community. This wasn't just an ordinary murder case, but a story of the ultimate betrayal, a mother taking the lives of her own children in their sleep. On a fateful night in November 2023, the peace in the small town of Cox's Creek was shattered by a horrific crime. Tiffany Lucas, a 34-year-old mother, committed an unforgivable act by shooting her two sons, 6-year-old Jaden Howard and 9-year-old Maurice Buddy Baker Jr., while they slept in their beds. Their home, once a safe haven, became a crime scene. Tiffany had been a typical mother with a job, a home, and abundant family love. Her mother, Regina Rowan, was always ready to help care for the grandchildren. Jaden was especially close to his grandmother, sharing special moments through walks and bedtime stories. However, the family's life began to unravel as Tiffany fell into drug addiction. Her personality and behavior changes became noticeable. Neighbors often saw her in an unstable state, talking to herself or shouting without reason. Security camera footage showed her wandering the neighborhood, seeking help from others. The day before the tragedy, a neighbor's doorbell camera captured Tiffany in a state of panic. "I need good people around me. I need family. I need help," she pleaded. This wasn't the first time she sought help. According to family court testimony, they had repeatedly offered to take care of the children so Tiffany could seek addiction treatment and stabilize mentally. These offers were refused. Finally, on that fatal morning around 6 a.m., neighbors heard arguing, crying, and then two sharp gunshots. Tiffany herself called the police. When authorities arrived, they found Maurice and Jaden dead in their bedroom, both shot in the head at close range. Nearly point blank, they were still in their pajamas, and forensic evidence suggested they may have awakened and seen their mother before being shot. Initially, Tiffany claimed it was a tragic accident. She stated she was holding the gun for self-defense because a group on Facebook was manipulating and threatening her. However, the investigation quickly revealed inconsistencies in her story. There was no evidence of online threats, while the position and nature of the wounds clearly indicated intentional action. Faced with undeniable evidence and pressure from family and lawyers, Tiffany eventually admitted the truth. She confessed to intentionally killing her children in a moment of complete loss of control. In her final testimony, she admitted being heavily influenced by drugs and experiencing hallucinations that killing her children was the only way to save them from an imaginary threat. Court-appointed psychological experts confirmed Tiffany suffered from several serious mental health issues, including substance abuse disorder, paranoid delusions, severe depression, and anxiety disorder. However, they maintained she was still mentally competent to be held responsible for her actions at the time of the crime. Surveillance footage from a nearby Waffle House also showed Tiffany's unusual behavior in the final days. She appeared disoriented, speaking incoherently and showing fear of some invisible threat. Her defense attorneys argued this was clear evidence of someone in severe mental crisis. The Cox's Creek community, a peaceful small town where everyone knew each other, was left in shock and profound grief. Neighbors couldn't believe a mother could act so cruelly toward her own children. Jaden and Maurice were remembered as happy, intelligent, and loving children who often played on familiar streets and were the pride of their local school teachers. When the case went to trial in early 2024, the proceedings revealed heartbreaking details of Lucas's crime. The investigation showed this wasn't an impulsive act but a calculated crime. Prosecutors successfully proved Lucas acted with clear intent and full awareness of her actions. Despite the defense team's efforts to present mitigating factors related to mental health and personal circumstances, the horrific nature of the crime rendered any justification meaningless. Throughout the trial, victim impact statements painted a painful picture of two young lives senselessly cut short. Family members shared stories of the boys' unfulfilled dreams and the bright future cruelly taken from them. Teachers spoke about their passion for learning and their cheerful laughter that would forever be silenced in school hallways. During the trial, Regina Rowan tearfully addressed Tiffany directly. "My heart is broken. And you know you could have always sent the children to me for care. You took Jaden from me, and I hurt every day. Every minute that passes, I hurt. Relatives gathered in Shepherdsville during the trial days. They brought photos, the boy's favorite toys, and memories that would never fade. During the hearing, 7 family members spoke, each sharing their own stories about Maurice and Jaden, about their interrupted dreams and the bright future that was stolen. The Nelson County jury, after careful deliberation, reached a unanimous verdict. Tiffany Lucas was guilty of 2 counts of murder. The recommended maximum sentence, life without parole, reflected the community's deep outrage at this crime. During sentencing, Judge Charles Sims Ivy's words echoed through the courtroom. You were selfish. You murdered 2 innocent children. The life sentences without parole for each count, to be served concurrently, ensure Lucas will spend the rest of her life behind bars. Despite defense attorneys' efforts to present mitigating circumstances, focusing on the defendant's mental state and difficult circumstances, Judge Rodney Burress still imposed the maximum sentence, 2 life terms. He emphasized, I cannot imagine the ultimate horror these children experienced seeing their mother with a gun. Under Kentucky law, Tiffany could be eligible for parole after 20 years, which left family members and the community feeling justice wasn't fully served. They believed the price for taking 2 innocent lives should be greater. This case left deep wounds in the Cox's Creek community while raising serious questions about mental health and child protection systems. Local residents still couldn't comprehend how a mother could harm her own children. Parents in the community became haunted by this crime, holding their children tighter each night and becoming more vigilant about warning signs in surrounding families. This tragedy became a catalyst for important changes in the community. Mental health support programs were strengthened, social safety nets reinforced, and awareness of domestic violence increased. Local residents formed support groups to help families in crisis, hoping to prevent similar tragedies in the future. While nothing can bring Jaden and Maurice back, their story has become motivation for better child protection efforts. The community learned painful lessons about the importance of recognizing warning signs and timely intervention. Kentucky schools have enhanced programs to monitor student and family mental health, developing new protocols to detect potential violence early. Lucas's sentence isn't just punishment but a strong message that society won't tolerate violence against children, especially from those responsible for protecting them. Justice was served to the fullest extent of the law, though it cannot ease the pain of loss for loved ones. Looking forward, the Cox's Creek community and Kentucky State have learned valuable lessons from this tragedy. They realize that protecting children is a community responsibility, not just family or authorities. Every citizen plays an important role in detecting and preventing domestic violence while supporting struggling families. The story of Jaden and Maurice will forever remind us of the value of life and the importance of protecting vulnerable children. Though time may fade the pain, memories of the boys will continue to drive the community's efforts to build a safer environment for all children. This is perhaps the only meaningful way to remember them, turning grief into motivation for positive social change.